Hi, I'm Ala Shapiro and this is the Spa Runner channel. In this video I will talk about how I decided to become a spa owner and the first steps I took towards becoming a business owner. This is going to be the first video in a series of business startup and business operations videos, and I will talk about all the problems, all my experiences and the lessons I learned. And hopefully this information will help someone to avoid my mistakes. In this video you will find out what was my lesson number 1 learned. If you're interested in this content, please subscribe and click notification bell. Please like and share this video and comment with any questions and suggestions. Before I start, I want to remind everybody that you can win a Woodhouse gift card. All you have to do is to watch my video, which is called $400 Woodhouse gift card giveaway. I will post the link in the description. And now let's start with the topic. When I was working as a portfolio manager for a major bank in New York City, I realized that having 2-hour commute each way is not sustainable. My oldest daughter never saw me. In the morning I would leave home before 6 a.m. and I would come back after 7 p.m. That really didn't give us a lot of time together. In those days, many weekends I was studying for the CFA exam, and that's a very important exam for the financial professionals. So I didn't see my daughter at all, weekends or weekdays. And when I became pregnant with my second daughter, I realized I didn't want to do this anymore. And I started looking at different business opportunities. Even though my education was in business, I concentrated more in finance and statistics. I could expertly value a large public company, analyze all the economic developments in the world, and come up with the most optimal stock portfolio. But I had no skills or knowledge to open and run my own business. But I wanted it so much. So I decided that I would look at franchised business opportunities, where the systems already are in place and they teach you how to run your business. I picked up the magazine called Entrepreneur Magazine and I went through the top-rated franchises. I had no clue in what I wanted to do. All I knew was that I wanted to run my own business. From there, I started contacting different franchises. They were in the categories of daycares, food establishments, gyms, cleaning companies, and finally medical spas. One advice that any successful entrepreneur would give you is that whatever you do, you have to love it and be passionate about it. I wasn't passionate about food, daycares, and cleaning companies. I wasn't ready to be a gym owner at that time, even though I really think it would be fun right now. So that left medical spas. I contacted a few and very quickly I realized that there are significant challenges in running a medical spa in New Jersey from the regulatory perspectives. I wasn't a doctor and you really need to be a doctor. And then by magic somehow I found the Woodhouse Day Spa. The decision to become the Woodhouse Day Spa owner was a totally emotional decision. I highly do not recommend to base your decision on emotions, even though it totally worked out for me. I loved all about the concept of the Woodhouse Spas. I went for a discovery day to Kingston, Pennsylvania, where I met Jenny Garrett, the CEO of the Woodhouse Day Spa Franchise, and the owners of the spa in that location. After spending most of my day with them, I was hooked, and very shortly after, I signed the franchise agreement. At the same time, I found a space for the spa that I thought was perfect, and it was very close to my house. That was 2005. The space was mostly first-level space with the mezzanine on the second floor. I signed the lease and started the construction approval process. I will spare you all the details, but because of the way the space was constructed, with the mezzanine and the town not having spas and allowed use, we had so many issues with the town. I really tried to make it work. My landlord was not very helpful, and at one point I needed to get out from the lease. I did lose a lot of money by getting out of that lease. Even though the space was still in construction and not ready to be delivered, the landlord pretty quickly replaced us. He didn't lose any money, but because of the contract, we had to pay. So here is lesson number 1. always hire an attorney familiar with the town you are going to operate in when you negotiate your lease. I'm sure that if I hired a local attorney, they would advise me against of signing that lease. That would save me a lot of money, time, and the most importantly, a lot of stress. From the time I signed the franchise agreement, it took me 3 years to actually open in Montclair. The real estate market was hot in 2005. I had very difficult time finding the appropriate real estate. When I would find something, the first question I would get would be about my business experience. I had none. No one wanted to talk to me after realizing that I'm a newbie. But I persevered. I worked with multiple brokers. Some of them didn't understand the requirements. I went through a few until I found Jenna, who eventually became a broker for the Woodhouse franchise nationally. And she was recommended by another franchisee in Indiana. Jenna's great. But this is, I guess, lesson number 2. If I wasn't as passionate about this as I was, I would not persevere for 3 years. This business would never open. With Jenna's help, we found a new construction, new building that was not going to be ready until 2008. I did have to go through a very intimidating interview process with the landlord company. I remember that they invited my husband and I for the chat. Right before that, we had massages in another Woodhouse Spa in Middletown, New York, which has closed since. When we walked into the meeting, we still had the rings on our faces from lying down on the massage tables. We expected a totally informal meeting, but we met with 7 or so men in suits at a very long table in the conference room. After pleasantries, one of the men looked at my husband and said, "So Mr. Shapiro, please tell us about the business model and the projected revenues for your first year." That was super awkward, as my husband came with me just to keep me company and really didn't get much involved in learning the business model or financials. And he is not Mr. Shapiro. We have different last names. When I started answering the questions, all the heads turned to me with quite a surprised look on their faces, as I knew all my numbers by heart and they clearly didn't expect that from me. I felt as an Elle character must have felt in Legally Blonde movie when she got into Harvard Law School and no one took her seriously because she was blonde and dressed in pink. I'm not in pink today, but I like to wear pink. Those of you who have seen the movie will understand exactly what I'm talking about. The interview must have went well, as I got the space. I hired a local attorney, and the whole process of permits and allowed use was a total breeze. So I repeat again, hire a local, well-established attorney when negotiating the lease. You will save a lot of headaches and money. And when I say local, local to that town. In the next videos, I will tell you how I financed the business, as I didn't have all the money required to start up and I had to borrow. I will teach you a few tricks that potentially can save you a few bucks. Before I finish, I would like to give heads up that the spas in Montclair and Red Bank will start running our very popular promotion in July. You will be able to purchase 7 services for the price of 5. These sessions do not expire and you can share them with other people. You can call spas directly to purchase your series, and the spas numbers for Montclair is 973-509-8488, and for Red Bank is 732-345-7300. If you like my videos, please subscribe, click notification bell, like and share the video, and comment with your questions and suggestions. Love, prosperity, and relaxation to all.